If you broke your leg right now, you'd call an ambulance. Within minutes, trained doctors would be helping you. But 50,000 years ago, there were no hospitals, no painkillers, no X-rays. So what happened if your leg snapped in the middle of the wilderness? Because here's the part most people never hear. Some ancient humans didn't just survive broken bones, they lived for decades afterward. And the evidence was discovered inside a cave in Iraq. Most people assume a broken bone in the ancient world was a death sentence. No cast, no antibiotics, one bad infection, and it was over. I thought the same thing. But scientists have found fractures over 130,000 years old that healed completely. And one skeleton changed everything we thought we knew about ancient humans. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how people survived shattered bones without modern medicine, and why the answer isn't simply they died. Let's travel to northern Iraq. In 1957, archaeologists excavating a cave called Shanidar uncovered the skeleton of a Neanderthal man who lived roughly 45,000 to 70,000 years ago. At first, he looked like any other ancient skeleton. Then they examined him more closely. His right arm was missing below the elbow. It hadn't fallen off after death. It had been amputated while he was alive. His skull showed a massive injury near one eye, leaving him likely blind on that side. His leg had healed badly, giving him a permanent limp. Years later, researchers discovered something even more surprising. He was almost completely deaf. Now think about that for a second. This was the Ice Age. Every day meant hunting for food, avoiding predators, and surviving harsh conditions. This man had one arm, one functioning eye, a crippled leg, and almost no hearing. He shouldn't have survived any one of those injuries. Yet, he survived all of them. Even more astonishing, he wasn't young when he died. He reached old age. That means he didn't just survive the injuries, he lived with them for years, maybe even decades. So who hunted for him? Who protected him? Who fed him when he couldn't keep up? The answer becomes even more remarkable. He wasn't the only one. Other skeletons from Shanidar Cave also showed severe injuries that had completely healed. Broken ribs, deep wounds, serious trauma. Again and again, researchers found the same pattern: terrible injuries, healing, long-term survival. This wasn't a coincidence. It suggests Neanderthals cared for injured members of their group. They carried those who couldn't walk. They shared food with those who couldn't hunt. They protected people long after they stopped being physically strong. But caring for someone is only part of the story. How did they actually treat a broken bone? For that, we move forward thousands of years to ancient Egypt. Unlike prehistoric people, the Egyptians left behind written medical records. One of the oldest is the Edwin Smith Papyrus. Inside it are detailed instructions explaining how to examine broken bones, straighten them, and secure them with splints. This isn't just theory. Archaeologists have found Egyptian mummies that still have their splints wrapped around healed fractures. Thousands of years later, the bandages remain exactly where ancient doctors placed them. The evidence is literally still attached to the body. Researchers then discovered something even more incredible. An ancient woman from Nubia had suffered a shattered hip, a broken shoulder, and multiple broken ribs. Despite those devastating injuries, she lived to around 58 years old. No modern surgery, no antibiotics, no morphine. Yet somehow her body healed. How? Because the human body has always been extraordinary. When broken bones are kept still and properly aligned, the body begins repairing itself. Blood forms a clot around the fracture. New tissue grows. Bone slowly rebuilds itself. It takes time, but with enough rest and care, healing can happen naturally. Ancient Greek physicians understood this surprisingly well. Hippocrates described careful methods for setting broken bones, using traction and proper alignment. Archaeologists later found skeletons from the Byzantine period, over 1,000 years later, healed using almost the exact same techniques. One medical method survived for centuries, passed from one generation to the next, long before modern hospitals ever existed. So let's return to the man in Shanidar Cave, blind in one eye, missing an arm, nearly deaf, walking with a permanent limp. He wasn't abandoned, he wasn't left behind. He became living proof that compassion existed long before civilization, long before cities, and long before written history. His bones healed because someone gave him the chance to heal. So the next time you hear that ancient life was simply survival of the fittest, remember the man who wasn't the fittest and lived anyway.